Good boy. I know, Ginger. Hi. I've got to put a head block in for you guys, I think. You guys are funny.
Hello there, how are you? Welcome back. Technically, it's a headlock. So I did not buy the entire unit where it had the squeeze chute and the headlock. Just purchased the headlock from a fellow off of Facebook Market that he deals in these. It was like $400, give or take, less than ordering it through Tractor Supply. Now, with that being said, it's big, it's awkward. The old saying, lift with your legs, not with your back, comes to mind to get it up over the lip of the back of this trailer. And then the rest of it was pretty straightforward, just utilizing the tractor to pull it out and then to lift it and get it moved into the general position inside the barn. Now my logic in going with just the headlock itself is I can actually use this later on as the lock for the milking stanchion for Tinkerbell and Ginger. So it's going to be a dual purpose, and now is definitely the time to get this thing purchased, to get it installed. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to go ahead and show you that I was able to get this done by myself. Again, I had the use of my tractor. If you don't have a tractor, I'm thinking a dolly maybe would work, and some rigging of things up. But for me, it was just a matter of going and purchasing it, getting it home in the back of the trailer, and then using the actual tractor to get it out. Now my goal is to tie it into these upright posts inside of the barn. Now these are heavy duty posts. The barn is rated for 185-mile-an-hour winds. I also put cross supports, which are the electrical U channel, and I haven't gotten them in yet as of the ending of this video, only because I'm waiting for the metal to come in. But I'm going to use the same 2.5 by 2.5 tubing, square tubing, to run from the post itself, the down post in the barn right here, across over to the matching one on the opposite side. So this is going to have support left to right and front to back. The other thing I did not show also on video, once I was able to get this in place, I used self-tapping sheet metal screws that were 1.5 inches long and washers to hold this up. But I later went back after I went to Tractor Supply and I got 1/2-inch bolts with the nylon locking nuts to go on this, with heavy duty washers on either side. And boy, did that really stiffen it up. So I think I'll give you a quick shot of that when I actually add the other cross supports in. But the main focus of today's video is just to show you that I was able to get this done myself. So what I tried to always say is, worst case scenario, you have to hire somebody. You go buy something, and if it just doesn't work, you can't get it installed, then you can hire someone. And I think a lot of times as we get older, we lose confidence in ourselves that we can't get things done, whether it be because we've lost strength or dexterity, you know, we've gotten fat, we've gotten old, whatever. And I'm just here to show you, you can do this. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And if you don't feel confident enough to try to do it right off the bat, there are so many videos in the YouTube and Rumble libraries that you can watch a bunch of videos and get ideas, and then just take it one step at a time, like slow and steady. Don't think, you know, oh, when I was younger I could do this in 3 hours. Don't think that you're going to be able to do that when you get older. Understand that it's going to take you a little bit longer, and if you're working by yourself, which this barn project and these 5 acres, as I'm developing it, I have access to friends and my son who will help me do a job if the job is too big for me to manage. But my goal is to actually do this. This is kind of like my retirement hobby. So sit back, relax. Hopefully this will give you some ideas. Again, I am using this headlock as a milking stanchion, aka also a headlock. So you'll see at the end of the video how I have Whopper, golly, that's a blast from the past. That's my other stare. You'll see how Earl comes and he puts his head through the headlock and he's eating feed and stuff out of a bucket. And the logic behind that right now is showing him he can put his head through there and get a treat and have it make noise and stuff around him. The other girls as well, but right now the primary focus is with Earl because I had his horns cut off. And the vet is coming out at the end of the month to pull his stitches out. So I'm going to need this headlock to restrain him so she can go ahead and remove his horns. So if he equates this headlock to having a treat, just as Tinkerbell, if she equates it to it's a treat when I milk her, then they will never be fearful of it. And I won't need big old giant 6-inch telephone poles or 9-inch telephone poles, suck in the ground 3 feet. Or that's my theory anyway. We'll have to see how that plays out later on as well. Oh my goodness. By the time you all get to see this video, Christmas will be over. I hope you had an absolutely wonderful Christmas and Hanukkah holiday break. I know that it's been very relaxing. And now we have the new year to look forward. And then yeehaw, here comes 2024. I sure hope you guys have your yourselves organized, let's just say. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so at this point, the bottom of the barn is these heavy-duty 3/4-inch anchors into the concrete slab. And where they're anchored, that is a footer down in there. So, I mean, it is solid. Like I said, I temporarily put this up with the 2.5-inch self-tapping screws and washers. This U-channel that you're seeing me here, this was just stuff. The electrical channel that I used to stiffen this up, this little channel, U-channel, whatever we're going to call this right here, this was off of my bus. This was the interior electrical chase that they had up on the top edge of the bus. And it's just something that took it out, didn't need it, but you just know, don't throw this away because someday I might be able to repurpose it. And as you will see, I ended up repurposing this for the front fence area alongside of that headlock. It worked absolutely perfect. It stiffens the upright poles from side to side. It's made out of a heavier sheet metal. Plus it looks pretty darn good, I might add. So what I did is I figured out where I wanted my bottom off the floor. Figured out where I wanted that top panel to run, or the top rung to run. And then I just divided the in-between space by 3 just to kind of evenly space this channel that I cut up. It really came together much nicer than I had anticipated, and it was amazing at even with these only being held in place with the 3/4 inch self-tapping sheet metal screws. It just made everything really stiffen up and have a much more solid feel to it. You know, I think if you got a crazy bull or a crazy cow or something in there, that it potentially could cause some problems. But as you see, I was just using a simple hog panel or cattle panel there initially for the front side of this stall. And on this side over here, if you remember from before, it was a little doggy wooden gate. And none of them pushed through it. The babies didn't push through it, nor did Tink push through it. And she's probably every bit of 1,000 pounds. Now, on the baby gate, if you left the baby gate open, Earl and Ginger both would just walk in the gate and come out the gate. And that was part of the deciding factor where I was going to put this headlock at. They're used to coming in and out in that general area. So I wanted to stay with that being kind of a thoroughfare kind of place for them. Now this is just showing you where I used the electrical U-channel, I think it's called. So the top one going across is 1/2 inch, and then right here by my right side going up is the actual 1 inch. And again, that's where on this part here where the other 2 wings off of this headlock was tied into this U-channel. And it's pretty stiff, but I think if I go again from the U-channel here across to the other side of the barn all the way over with that square 2.5 by 2.5 square channel, and the same thing on the right side of the headlock, it'll really make the top just super heavy duty stiff. It's good, but I think that extra reinforcement will be nice, especially if for some reason they try to pull the headlock in, because typically they're going to try, initially they'll try to push through, but the wings are set up that it shores them up from pushing out. But if they did try to pull it back, I think that they would be more successful at it, and I think that's where the overhead square channel will keep them from being able to do that. I'm hoping that because I'm planning on just feeding them and spoiling them rotten through eating through here, the calves and the mom, Tink, that shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. And as you can see, he's got it. Alrighty then, I want to thank you all for stopping by. Have an absolutely wonderful and blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.